was indicating, mate. Don't have a go at him. You're the one driving right up his arse.
You're not looking, that's why.
We're nearly there. We're certainly getting there. I'm super excited today because I'm generally thinking that we've turned quite a big milestone in this country when it comes to Brexit. Public opinion is changing, and it is changing massively, and it showed hugely with this recent interview with Jacob Rees Mogg on LBC. You had the call from the fisherman, but you also had the lady, "You lied to us." I'm sure you've seen it. I'll show a little clip here if you haven't.
Morning. We were told if we exited the EU, we would have lower energy prices, cut in VAT and cheaper food. You lied to us, and in the times that we're in, why hasn't this happened?
Well, what we said was that it would be possible to change VAT on energy, and actually, in the budget, the Chancellor cut VAT on means of saving energy, so insulation and so on, which was something we could not do within the EU. What I argued about food is that we have tariffs on food coming from
food, clothing and footwear.
Yeah, that's right.
Cheaper
that's
food,
absolutely right.
Clothing
absolutely
and
right.
footwear.
Because we have tariffs on food, clothing and footwear.
Food price inflation up 4.3% last month. Do
yes.
go on, Mr. Rees.
Yes. But these
That's
are
not cheaper.
These are
Even Nick Ferrari's had enough. Now, he's supposedly a massive Brexit supporter, isn't he? And even he's saying, look, come on, Mogg twat face, you just tell the truth, for crying out loud. And this is great. Public opinion is changing. And when I look at Brexit and the Brexit vote, I kind of look at it in two different camps. There was the obvious racist side, the anti-immigration side, but to me that was a small part of the people that voted for Brexit. The rest, they just got sold a lie, and they're now starting to realise that it was a lie. And the way I saw it during the Brexit referendum, basically you had two camps that stood up on stage. It's like one of those things where you have to guess the liar. Someone will give over their argument, tell you what their argument is, and you have to guess which one's lying and which one's telling the truth. Well, obviously some people got it wrong and they chose the liar. That's what Brexit was about. They chose the liars that said that it won't affect business. We'll still be able to trade just as we were before. Because you know what? The average day person is not clued up with trade. I mean, Jesus Christ. Go on, mate. Go on. Off you pop. There you go, yeah. The average person is not... does not know the ins and outs of trade negotiations. I certainly didn't. Do you think I knew anything about trade before 2016? No, of course I didn't. And those people that picked the wrong person and picked the liar by mistake are now realising that they picked the liar, and they're angry. They're angry with the people that lied to them. And it's starting to show and stuff like this. And really, the only people that are still backing Brexit is your GB News crew. And it is a small portion of the population. It really is a small amount of people. Now, I'm not showing you this to big up the viewership of my channel. No, I'm showing it to say how lame GB News is. I mean, look at their YouTube channel. Look at the views here. And then compared to the views that I get on my video. Okay, GB News are pumping out a lot more videos, a lot more crap, but it's quality versus quantity, people. So this small little GB News narrative is very, very small. It's very small. The anti-immigration, the racist part of the Brexit vote is small, and the other people are starting to cotton on. And even on GB News now, they're starting to get anti-Brexit voices.
Success yet?
Of course it hasn't. But mainly because we were sold a pack of lies. And so the people who voted for Brexit were voting for something that couldn't be delivered. We've got Jacob Rees Mogg appealing to people in the Sun for some ideas on bureaucracy that he wants to cut. I mean, why didn't they have a plan? I've already mentioned the NHS funds that were going to come pouring in once we stop spending money to Europe. We've seen what's happened to the economy. The Office of Budget Responsibility put out their report, which does disentangle the economy from COVID and from the global economy, and it is absolutely devastating reading. Our production is down, our GDP is down, and the outlook is grim.
Right, so that's a no from Joe.
Brilliant, Joe. Well done. Excellent. Well researched, using facts, to point out your argument. Brilliant. How can you argue with that?
Philip?
Well, it's not being given a chance. It's a yes from me. I was a Brexiteer, and
okay, yes, that's fine. So, what are you basing your views on? Let's have an evidence-based argument, like your previous co-commentator just did.
But I think there's got to be a will there. So there's got to be a will to make it work, and I don't think there is at the moment. So the idea that we want the keys to our own front door is a perfectly legitimate idea, because if we don't have the keys to our own front door, then we can't really have democracy. But we've got to be able to lock that front door as well.
Of course, keys to the front door, immigration. It goes back to immigration. And this is exactly my point. The only pro-Brexit people left now in the country are these anti-immigration and racist lot, which does make up a small portion of the Brexit vote. The majority of people just picked the wrong option. They got suckered into the lies and they're angry. But all that's left now is this GB News lot. Which is positive, people. It's positive because this is a small portion of the Brexit vote are still pro-Brexit.
Our own front door, then we can't really have democracy. But we've got to be able to lock that front door as well. And if we had a head of border control who didn't believe in borders.
What, Priti Patel? Priti Patel's Home Secretary, right? She's not anti-immigration enough for you. You're having a laugh, aren't you?
The current maximum penalty for entering the country illegally is 6 months. We're increasing that to 4 years. And if we had a head of border control who didn't believe in borders, so there needs to be a much more. And I'm not anti-immigration. I'm from an immigrant background myself. My father was Hungarian, came here in 1959.
I love this argument. Go on, mate, off you pop. I do love this argument. It always comes out, doesn't it? It's exactly the same as the, I ain't racist, I've got a black friend. I ain't anti-immigration, my great-great-grandfather was from Hungary. What do you mean by that? What are you even trying to say? Because if that's the case, then why do you not want immigration then? Because that's what you're doing. You're putting barriers up to immigration and you're saying immigration is a good thing. Makes no sense. This whole immigration argument is so laughable from this country anyway. Like, I'd understand it from Spain. If Spain were getting a bit annoyed with all English OAPs and retirees coming over to Spain, not paying, not contributing, not paying taxes, I get it. But the UK is a country where our retirees, when we were in the EU, our retirees in big numbers would go live in Spain, and we'd get young, working, healthy immigrants come into this country. That's a win-win situation. The retirees that aren't contributing to society, aren't paying taxes, are going over to Spain, and we're getting young, fit, tough workers, hard-working people come into the country that ain't going to be a burden on the NHS, that are going to pay their taxes. We had it all. We had it. We had everything. This is what's so laughable about this immigration argument. And this is my point. It's fantastic. I'm so positive right now on Brexit because opinion is changing. It's just this GB News nonsense that's left now.
Now that this Brexit debate will rumble on and on and on. But you know what? Let's be honest about this. Look at what has gone on in the world since we voted for Brexit. Nobody could have foresaw some of the things that's happened. We've had a global pandemic. We've then had a cost of living crisis. We're then lurching into the cusp of a potential war in Europe. I mean, goodness gracious me, Brexit is a long-term strategy. So let's give it a bit of a long term, shall we? See how it goes. And for goodness sake, everyone, stop bashing absolutely everything. That's what I say.
Yeah, stop bashing everything. Stop moaning. So that's your argument, yeah? So we had Joe at the start that gave facts and figures, told us exactly that, what was going on with our GDP and our economy and production all going down. And your argument is immigration and stop bashing everything. Stop moaning. That's your argument, is it? My business is failing. My business that I've been working for forever is exporting to Europe, and now it's failing. Oh, stop moaning, stop moaning. I've had this farm for generations. My grandparents had this farm, and now I'm going to have to sell it up because I can't get enough workers. Oh, stop bashing everything. nonsense. And also, other thing I found funny with GB News is they use this language. You know, when you get body language experts in to read people and they're saying the opposite of what they're thinking, they do this with their language as well. Like, they keep saying the B word when referring to Brexit. The B word.
Anyway, let's talk about Brexit, shall we? The old B word.
This was just confected outrage from Boris's enemies. OK, I will concede that using the B word was probably not wise.
It's weird, isn't it? You'd only say that if you're embarrassed about something or something's a bit naughty. You'd say, you know, the F word. Oh, don't say the C word around here. The B word. It's like you're ashamed of it. There is something naughty that you don't want to talk about. If Brexit was so great, GB News should be standing on the forefront going, come on, Brexit is great. You should be proud of Brexit. But why are you saying, oh, the B word? OK, let's talk about the B word. Because you know it's bollocks. You know you've got no justification for it. And you know you're trying to sell a dead horse and it's just not working. And like I keep saying, this is why I'm so positive right now, because it's happening. Think of where opinions on Brexit were a year ago and now today. It's moving in the right direction. And just think what it would be like in 4 years' time for the next election. I mean, okay, we've got to get through the damage that it's still going to cause, because this current government is obviously not going to do anything about Brexit at all, because it's sold by it. It can't change anything. But a new, fresh start can do something, and we just need public opinion there ready to take it. Exactly the same with the Tories. It's the same thing. You can't sell the Tories anymore. All the Tories have got left is Labour are worse. Labour are saying women have got penises, or whatever nonsense they're coming out with at the moment. I don't know if anyone saw that LBC with James O'Brien with that caller that just could not give a reason. You know, he was the classic Tory voter. We said, well, there's no alternative, is there? You can't vote in Labour because they're obsessed with trans rights and stuff. And that's all he had. He couldn't say a single policy that he doesn't like about Labour. It's just that they care about trans issues, or you know, or they don't know the legal definition of what a woman is. That's all they got. That's all they care about. That's for some reason. Anyway, I'm off babbling now, but I think as long as public opinion is in place, if inevitably, I'm saying inevitably because I'm feeling positive now, inevitably a Labour government takes over in 4 years' time, we just got to have that public opinion in place, and it's going to be there to get back into the European Union. And Starmer, you know, a lot of people don't like his stance on Brexit. I think he's got a plan. I'm certain he's got a plan, and his plan is to just keep stum at the moment. Don't rustle the feathers. Which way are you going, Bus? You are going this way, aren't you? Yeah, you are going this way. Yeah, don't ruffle the feathers of the Labour Brexit vote. Just keep stum, and you've got enough on the Tories to win the next election. You don't need Brexit as well. And just make sure public opinion is there. And then when you get in power, you know, start talking about rejoining the customs union, single market. Just, you know, start getting up on stage and saying, look, Brexit is just not working. It's crippling us. We need to look at this a different way. And as long as public opinion's there, it'll work for you. A lot of people want Starmer to be shouting from the rooftops that Brexit is a disaster, but you know, I can't argue with that. You know, I can't. But I think he's got a plan, and we'll see. But I'm positive, guys. What do you think? Are you positive? Do you think public opinion is changing? Do you think it is just those hardcore anti-immigration, anti-racists that are left with the Brexit argument? Do you agree that there was a lot of reasonable, good, honest people that voted Brexit? But they just got sold a lie, and it could have been me. You know, if I'd listened to advice from the wrong people, or if I got locked into a YouTube algorithm where I watched a few pro-Brexit videos and then suddenly that's all I'm getting, it could have been me. It could have been me. But that's the way I see Brexit when the vote was there. One's lying, one's telling the truth. And you have to choose which one. And it was difficult for people that don't know the ins and outs of the EU, and people that don't, you know the ins and outs of politics. It's hard to choose. But yeah, feeling good. And good old twat-face Moggy's interview on LBC was just what I needed. Till next time, guys, take care.